When you think of guys who get punched in the face for a living, you don't imagine the most handsome guys. But that hasn't stopped these UFC fighters from tying the knot with some of the hottest catches around. From former ring girls to Fox Sports journalists, here are UFC fighters' hottest wives revealed. Chuck Liddell is famous for being one of the biggest stars in the UFC during the 2000s, but not many people know about his smoking hot wife, Heidi Northcutt. Heidi is a bombshell blonde with a lot of brains. She graduated from the University of Southern California with a degree in Management Information Systems and Natural Sciences. She works as the vice president at High Traffic Media, an advertising company, and also plays poker professionally. Did I mention she could speak 4 languages? Chuck really lucked out with this one. You know who else lucked out? Everyone's favorite wrestler and one of the most frightening fighters to ever grace the heavyweight division in the UFC, Brock Lesnar. It seems Brock couldn't keep business and pleasure separate, seeing as his wife Rena Grieg is also the WWE star Sable. OG wrestling fans will recognize the gorgeous blonde. As well as her career in wrestling, Rena has modeled for Playboy and done ads for the likes of L'Oreal and Pepsi. What a prolific woman. Another heavyweight who couldn't seem to keep his private life at home is Travis Browne. Travis's record of 18 wins and 7 losses reflects his dominance in the Octagon. I guess he needed someone to match his energy, seeing how in 2017 he married none other than Ronda Rousey. Ronda is an even bigger star in the UFC than Travis. A former champion, her name is mentioned alongside the likes of Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz as one of the stars who helped to propel MMA forward on the world stage. Did I mention she's an absolute dime? Ronda can boast about being an Olympic gold medalist in judo, as well as cameos in many famous films and TV shows such as The Expendables 3 and Entourage. Having retired from MMA, Ronda is now signed to the WWE, where she's had great success. Speaking of champions, TJ Dillashaw, the former 2-time bantamweight champion, seems to have had even bigger wins outside the cage. His wife, Rebecca Dillashaw, is a smoke show. But Rebecca isn't just a stay-at-home wife. With a degree in visual communications from Sonoma State University, she's worked in the corporate world for the likes of MTV Networks and Sacktown magazine. And now, she's the director of operations at TJ Dillashaw Incorporated. The Dillashaws are a real team. I imagine Carlos Condit, the former interim UFC welterweight champion, had similar dreams for him and his wife. Carlos's wife, Sager, is a gorgeous brunette. They met at the gym in 2005 and have been together ever since. Sager is a personal trainer, so I'm sure she's helped her hubby out at a few of his training camps. You know what they say, couples that train together, stay together. Joseph Benavidez hit the jackpot with a girl who loves MMA as much as he does, and it doesn't hurt that she's a looker. His wife, Megan Olivi, might be familiar to some UFC fans as she's the host of the UFC Ultimate Insider. With degrees in political science from Seton Hall University and broadcast journalism from Fordham University, she might even be a little overqualified for the job. The couple met in 2009 and married in 2015. Another fighter who married a woman whose profession might come in handy is none other than Stipe Miocic. As Stipe is still active in the UFC and prone to fighting some dangerous guys, it's useful that his wife, Ryan Marie Carney, is a professional nurse. The stunning brunette has also worked as a hairstylist and cosmetology instructor. Stipe might be brave in the Octagon, but maybe not so much outside, since he and his wife knew each other for 7 years before he asked her out. Now, a fighter who's known for being brash and cocky outside the Octagon is Chael Sonnen. Being slick with words may have helped Chael do more than land himself some big fights, since his wife Brittany Smith is an absolute hottie. Not much is known about this gorgeous blonde, except she said that she was attracted to her husband's sweetness when she met him. I don't know, Brittany. I'm sure a lot of fighters could think of words to describe Chael Sonnen. Pretty certain none of them are sweet. Now, Vitor Belfort's wife, on the other hand, she can be described as exactly that. Belfort is known for being one of the former most formidable fighters in the UFC across 3 divisions. But you might not know that Vitor married a dime piece named Joanna Prado. Joanna is an actress and model who posed for Playboy multiple times. Women with this job title seem to be popular amongst fighters. Their relationship was a little tumultuous as they dated in the year 2000 and broke up, only to rekindle their romance in a reality TV show. Joanna is a businesswoman who runs gyms, a fitness brand, and manages real estate. Seems like she has a lot on her plate. Kenny Florian's wife, Clark Gilmer, has something in common with Joanna. She's also a stunning model. I told you fighters like their models. This hot blonde has worked with the Bikini Model Academy, a America's Next Top Model, Hot Girls Hot Things, and The Millionaire Matchmaker. Quite the resume if you ask me. She also has a bachelor's degree in retail and fashion from the University of South Carolina. Now, it seems that a lot of fighters have trouble keeping their work and private lives separate. I mean, half of these guys seem to have met their wives through work. It's certainly true of Ross Pearson, who met his wife Christy Jane McKeon while on the reality TV show The Ultimate Fighter: The Smashes. Ross was the lightweight winner of The Ultimate Fighter 9 and went on to fight 26 times in the UFC. Christy is a blonde bombshell whose good looks have gotten her modeling work with swimwear lines and much more. But wait, you recognize her, you say? The Australian model might look familiar to avid UFC fans, as she used to be a ring girl. She's also modeled for magazines such as Men's Fitness, Women's Health Fitness, and the UFC magazine. The couple were married in 2014 and have lived together in Australia since. Now, this next fighter's wife isn't a model, but I'll be damned if she couldn't be. Demetrius Johnson, aka Mighty Mouse, is a former UFC flyweight champion with an impressive record inside the ring and his own claims to GOAT status in the world of MMA. It's no surprise that Johnson was able to attract such a beautiful woman as his wife. He married Destiny Johnson in 2012 in Hawaii. Destiny is obviously a ride-or-die kind of woman, and she even calls herself Mighty Wife on social media. I don't know what requires more commitment, getting married or that username. Speaking of ride-or-die, Conor McGregor's fiancée and wife-to-be, Dee Devlin, is certainly that. The gorgeous brunette has stood by Conor through thick and thin. First getting together in 2008, she's been right beside him through his meteoric rise to fame and stardom. I guess even when he was broke, McGregor could snatch up a beautiful lady. As you can see, despite their rough profession, UFC fighters seem to have no problem attracting stunning women into their lives. So from swimwear models to MMA journalists, those were UFC fighters' hottest wives revealed.